How many people is this the first SQL community event? Oh! Wow, no, do that again. Hang on, do that again. Steve, look at this. Yeah, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. That's really cool. I'm really pleased that you're all taking the time, your own time, to come out here and learn how to do. So you all know about, there's a great user group happening in Cardiff. There's plenty of other user groups around the UK and other places. You see Saturday going on next year. Same type of thing as this. All free training. Keep your eyes out, have a look. Follow these people that are speaking on Twitter, on Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever. Find out where all these things happen. I don't appear to have room on it, so maybe that's how we've got time to go. Andrew, what do you reckon? What did you say, sorry? Time to go? Time to start?
1 minute to go, I think, yeah?
1 minute to go. Countdown's on.
I meant 1 minute ago.
Oh, 1 minute ago?
Yes.
So there is no to go. You must start. We're now already 60 seconds late. So, well done. How many DBAs have you got? Good. How many BI people? Okay. I'm not a BI person, so don't hate me. Some of my colour schemes are deliberately designed to wind you up. Okay. I like food, so my charts are food charts. Okay. So hello, I'm an enterprise SQL DBA. I work in Bristol. I look after a whole load of databases. I have people waiting at me from the room. I'm a member of the SQL Southwest user group. We meet in Exeter every third Monday of the month, so come on down. If you're down that way, come and say hello to us. I'm also one of the organisers for the SQL Saturday Exeter, so that will be happening early next year. Keep your eye out if you want to come along. It'll be brilliant. The fourth year we're running it. Excellent day. And I do this sort of stuff. I blog on my Twitter. And I've got a clicker that won't click. Click! Great, so what problem are we solving? Yeah, okay. Every year I get that. You do remember? No. So that's not the problem we're solving. The problem we're solving, we'll talk about today, is the amount of time that DBAs spend asking questions from developers, from BI guys. I'm not going to pick any BI guys, I promise. But change managers, project managers, compliance, security, how many of these have we got? Where are those? Whose databases are these clients for? How big? How many? What version have we got? And I get them by email, by link, by phone, and by the people who do this. You know those people, don't you? They stand there and they wait until you actually. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Could you tell me what version what version is Metallica's client database? Just because I'm a DBA, I haven't got it all in my head. So we get all this time wasted for stopping us from doing our daily job, stopping us from doing the exciting things, stopping us from looking at DBA reactions. You all know about DBA reactions? Google Bing it. But also, it's 2015. We have new and exciting ways of doing stuff. Why are we still copying and pasting data into Excel and then writing a formula to calculate some columns and then saving it and emailing it to 15 people who then email it to other people who save it on their own computer or on their own shared team drive, and then they alter it, and then you alter yours, and then you alter yours, and suddenly we've got 5 versions of the truth. Which one is... We can do better than this. We're data professionals. Let's do things in a better way. So, as a DBA, as a team leader with a group of guys running underneath me, I want an instant view of the DBA team. I want guys to be able to walk in the morning and see what is most important. This is almost literally one of the screens that they will use first in the morning. The only difference is here, we have which jobs have failed. So I can see how many jobs there have been, blue, how many jobs have failed, red, and then a 7-day average and a 30-day average. 7 days blue and the 30 days green. So I can see how well we're doing. And I can also say to my boss how well my team is doing. But it used to be really bad, it used to be up here. Now we're getting better, apart from actually the sand fell over, so we couldn't have the observatory fail. That's really low. But we can see that, and we can explain it, and it's data. And we all know management like pretty pictures. So wouldn't it be even better if people could help themselves? So when these change managers and these project managers and these security guys need to grab that information, instead of coming and standing here, yeah, if you can say, hang on a minute, here's a buffet. Come, help yourself, get a plate, take it away. How many servers do you want? How many data? Find out. I'm completely happy with that. There is no problem with me giving you, as a project manager, the information about your technology that's providing your project. So stop bothering me, try to find out. Help yourself. So, how do we do that? Well, I'm a SQL guy, so I'm going to use SQL Server. I'm a PowerShell nerd, so I'm going to use PowerShell to go and grab the data. And Power BI came out, the new version, and it looked shiny and new. And my friend Terry McCann did a demonstration and showed how quickly and easily you could build a report. And I thought, crikey, even me, nerdy DBA can do that. I can make this up look pretty. I'll give it a go. But the other thing that you need is the local knowledge. Sometimes that is literally on the back of the flag packet. Sometimes it's in the head of the person who has been there for 20 years and just knows. You say to him, what server is X database on? He goes, oh yeah, that's on so. Hang on a minute, we've got 670 servers. How do you know that? Yeah, I just do. Some people are like that. You're going to have to go, if you want to go through this process, you're going to have to go and grab that knowledge out of those people's brains and put it in. So, how do you do it? I have no idea what happened there. Here is the manual part. Unless you want to match your data up to a client, in which case that is another manual piece of information you're going to have to put in. Here is the manual part. You need a table with this information in it. Once you put that information in, we can go through and iterate and automate everything else. Those are obvious. The port, here is a warning for you. I work in somewhere where we have static ports for security for various instances. If you have dynamic ports, you will have to get rid of this. Otherwise, all the scripts won't work. I wrote it for my environment. I'm sorry, I didn't write it for yours. I'm completely happy for you to take it and go and make it work for yourself. But you will have to change that. Inactive flag. We used to have this server, now we don't. Tip. We keep the information, but we don't report and update it every month, every week, every day. Environment. I need to know which production servers I've got, which test servers, which dev, QA, pre-prod, integration. You might have all sorts of different words. You need to work out what they are for your environment, for your place of work, and use that terminology for your environment. Location, because I look after stuff that's all over geographically the place. So I need to know where those things are. What happens if we turn off the data center that's in Bristol? Well, here we go. These are the clients that will be affected. These are the servers that will be affected. And this is how it works. Very simple. The DBA team put the instances in here. The PowerShell script goes through these instances, puts data into these tables. Server OS information. Windows version, RAM, IP address, number of CPUs. SQL information. About the instance level SQL information. Right click on it and do properties. That stuff, that's what you're getting into a table. Database information, collation, size, index space usage, data space usage, etc. And agent jobs. When we run at 6 o'clock in the morning, which jobs failed, which jobs succeeded? Once we've got it in that table, we can use PowerShell to query that table. So I don't need to be like this gentleman here who remembers where every single one of the 9,000 databases are and which server they are, because I've got a find database function that will just make use of this table. We can use T-SQL, because we're DBAs, we like to use T-SQL, or we're BI people, or we're dev people, we know how to use T-SQL. Or we can use Power BI. Brilliant, it's shining. Now, we're in a situation where the DBA team can use any of that to answer questions for themselves. The DBA team don't need to go onto the server and find out how big this database is, or what version of Windows it's using, or how much RAM it's got. Because we know when we gather that information into this, maybe on Sunday, that it's up to date. That's the information. We don't need to bother with on live production server. And all of these people here coming up, standing, asking questions. Tap, 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 bing, bing, bing. Could you tell me this? Excuse me. Hello, DBA team. Can you tell me which version of that? I'm standing here over you again. What's going on? Yeah? We say then, yeah, we can use this to answer their question if they do that, but we also point them at this. Go and help yourself. Here you go, make it useful for yourself. Because what generally happens when somebody comes and asks you a question, how many security come and say, how many servers have got XP command shell enabled? No, 78. They go away. 5 minutes later, they come back and say, right, those 78 servers that are XP command shell enabled, what version are they? Hang on a bit. As a DBA, that's going to be really difficult, but if we put it into Power BI and we get them to use it themselves, they can ask the first question and then they can carry on filtering. Bingo. So our problem is solved. That's the end of the slides. So I have an instance with a DBA database with these tables, and if we have a look at the instance list table, can you see that? Or do you want me to zoom in? There we go. We can see this is live data, but it's not real data. It's being modified. So, we don't have the target. Unfortunately, might be up to, but I'm probably going to get work done because I'm playing with them. Server name, instance name, port. Are they availability group? Are they active? Which environment are they in? Which location? Non-contactable. We work in environments. We work in environments where you might be looking after health data, or legal data, or data of higher security classification, where you can't always just grab that. You can't connect from your own machine. You have to go and jump through some hoops and RDP to this, stand on your head and sing Merry Christmas backwards to be able to get through the hoops of security set to get to be able to use that data. Yeah? But we might still want to know the information about the database and SQL instances. Security will still come and ask us what is going on in those servers. We can use the same PowerShell scripts to go and gather the data from those manually, take the information, move it back, put it into the database, take this flag, and then the automatic script won't try and connect to it. And we still have the information to report to. And if you look at some of the information that is gathered, auto-close, auto-create, statistics enabled, collation, compatibility, create dates, is mirroring enabled, all the sort of things that you might get asked questions about. That's databases, there's the server OS, operating system, number of processes, IP address, how much RAM we have. And at an instance level, name types enabled, what path directories, is full text enabled. Done again, too late. There's no more being done. what are the default log and file paths that we've got. But also, a date checked and a date added. When did we pick up information first about this instance? And when did we last check it? So you can always say to people, even if the script fails, you say, well, that's okay, because I know on the 5th of September this is the data, because it came back to me, it was updated. And I collect this every week. I collect database information every day. I get agent job information every morning. And this is how I do it. All the scripts that are used to create information run in pretty much the same way. They make use of the write log function to write the information out to a log file. I use a capture block, or I try and catch and gather any errors, pipe those out to the log file, but also put them into the event log. That's just a query that gathers all of the information from the DBA database instance list table, which we can use. We can filter this at any point. So I'm trying to say to you, you can make use of all this information. All these scripts are on my blog. Have them, take them, make use of them for yourselves. But also understand that you can actually modify them in ways to make them more useful for you, for your environment. Because I've written them for my environment. You do what you will for your environment. But if you do not test them and they break your environment, that is your fault. It's not my fault. I don't know what's in your environment. Okay? If you haven't tested them, don't come and say anything to me, because I will laugh at you. And then I'll be empathetic and try to help you, but I will laugh at you. Don't put stuff on that. Serious. Don't put stuff on that. So, we gather information, we loop through, we create a connection, server name, instance name, port. We create an object, an SMO. We do a try catch, but if you notice, we also do a second check here. So we try and we catch, because this catch says you have not created an SMO object. It does not say you have not created an SMO object for that particular connection, for that instance. If you create that connection, but it can't get through to that instance, if you go and look at the properties, what you have is an SMO server object with a name property that matches your connection. Everything else is blank. So what I do is I check the version, because the first time I came across that problem 4 years ago, I was checking for version numbers. So I use the version, because if the version property is created, then we know that you're connected. Then we go through and we gather information from the SLV server SMO object that I want to collect. So you might want to collect different information, and you will be able to find out what it is by using the pipe symbol and get dash member. If you're don't know much about PowerShell, get dash help, get dash member, get dash command. Those 3 commands and Google, you can do anything you want. But you'll see that some of these values that we get are all the way down here. So it's SRV in the configuration, max degree of parallelism, and the config value. So you've got to go all the way down to get member, all the way down to find value for the thing that you want. You want different things? Go and find them. Create a column in the table with the right data type for that thing. Use MSDN to find out what that is. And onto the insert and update script. Because the next thing that this script does is check whether we already have the server. That is just a select against the database. Does this instance exist? If it does, update with a new date checked. If it doesn't, insert. That runs every night. It's a server. That runs every week. The database one runs every night. And then we write out to a log file. And just show you. I can't show you a successful log file because I deleted it. But it gives you an example of how useful this write log function is. Yeah, okay, we've got loads of errors. We can't connect to these completely made up names from here. But you can see how it's formatted, how it's automatically timestamped. You can write info, you can write warnings, you can write messages, or you can leave it just to catch whatever it is that you want. So, once we have got that information, what we need to do is go to Power BI Desktop, which is free, and we go and collect the information from the database. So I would go and write a query that it is that I want to go and wrap them in. And if we look at that, it is very, very simple. All we're doing is selecting this instance name and job detail for this one, and joining on the instance name. Last run date is 31 days ago. Don't bring back more information than you want. As a DBA, when I started playing with this, I just grabbed the tables. And then I hit refresh and it was doing 700,000 rows and it took ages. Like, hang on a minute, you should brain, you're a data guy, come on, let's work it out. Once you've got that information, you want to look at, bless you, you want to look at this page, and in this page you can rename your columns as you think you need them. This becomes useful when you are using your natural query language later on. Somebody tweeted me yesterday's session, so I didn't explain this well. In that, when you are using natural language queries online, you need to make sure that your column names match what your project manager thinks that should be called. You know, we might know that it's index usage space available KB. It doesn't make much sense to other people. So you might need to just fiddle with some of those columns, rename them to make sense to yourself and to your report viewers. You'll also want some measures and some calculated columns, and you can do all of this in here. So we have a last run date, just to bring it down to a date time. We have a succeeded, a failed, and unknown. What was the outcome? Let's just put it in numbers so we can sum it up. Last run day of the week, because I was interested in when things were failing. Were more things failing on Friday night than was nobody there? Were we having too much full backups happening then? It's causing other things to fail. Yes, we were. Let's spread it out. Now my graph that shows Fridays now looks a little bit better. Hooray! Great. We're making progress, but we can see that we're making progress. So as a team leader for a DBA team, it suddenly starts to be very, very useful. What else have we got? Measures. Oh, yeah. I put the server and the instance name together. So then when we exported that report, we could make use of it. Do what it is that you need to do. I have averages for the failed. How many jobs failed over the last 7 days? Then every morning, we come in to work, and we hit refresh. And today it takes much longer than yesterday. And all of a sudden, I can say to my guys when they're coming in, hang on a minute, don't have a group of data. It's failed. Better get working on that. Oh no, I'm making green room expenses. That was failed. Oh no, that's just a dev box. Concentrate on quote box. And what we can do is we can filter here. I actually just want to look at the quote boxes. I know that the depth group data is the quote box because I know that server was actually a live server. But when my new guy comes in and he starts, he can just filter by prod. Now he knows which one's production. Everything else has also filtered by that environment. And actually, it is a really simple tool to use. Over here, you have a different set of visualizations. And over here, you have a load of tick boxes. Basic job detail, failed average. You drag those into there, the ones that you want, and then you change the visualization line. Click, 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 click. Make it look pretty. Okay? Alternatively, you can make it look really awful. I did say there were some horrible colour schemes, deliberately horrible colour schemes. Why did I choose deliberately horrible colour schemes? Because I wanted people to come into the office. We have this up on a big monitor on the back of the wall. And I would say, oh, that looks horrible, what is it? I might say, oh, this is about database, it's about which clients we've got and what locations they're in, how much data we have. Oh, it's a horrible colour scheme. It should be corporate. Excellent, great. Give me the corporate colour scheme and I'll make it so. Because I want them to come in and talk and look at it. I use it as a tool to get my managers and my project managers, people to come and talk to me about this data that I have showing. Because it becomes then important to them. And I can say, look at this tool, isn't it brilliant? And again, each one of these will filter. So let's look at Reg Against Machine. Click on Reg Against Machine, 3 instances, 6 databases. Some are in Exeter, some are in Bolton. 114 gigabytes. Straight away. Really easy, really simple. Anybody can see how to use it and to make it work. And Mr. Sewell. Here is the publish button. What the publish button does, publish this report to PowerBI.com. You need to have a PowerBI.com account that will be registered to your company. There are licensing implications if you want to use automatic refresh. There are other things that you need to consider. There are security considerations for having that data in the cloud. Those are things that you have to work out with your team, for your environment, and your data. So I don't know how that's going to work for you. But, providing you jump through all of those hoops and that's all fine, then you publish it up onto PowerBI.com, and then you can share it with people who use the same email address for their PowerBI.com, same domain name. So there's people within your company, so it's locked down that way. And then you can say, you're not allowed to share this anymore. So I will share it with Craig. Tick that button. Craig forwards that email onto Steve. Steve can't see the report unless I specifically give him access. I have tested this with my security team because they insisted that was on the steps we went through. Great, brilliant. I want to keep data safe. Absolutely. So there's a consideration to go through with that. The Pro account is in the $10 or $15 a month per user straight off. Corporates will get discounts, etc. You have to go and work that out yourself. I'm not a licensing guy, I don't know what the score is. It's gone down to $6.50 now. See, I don't even know how much it is. And if you're on Windows 8, you can give people this store, Power BI store. You can share your reports with them, and they can get a report and click through. And what we can get here is you can fizz around and see this change in the percentages. It's a pie chart. You shouldn't ever use pie charts, but I like it because it squizzles around when you've got the surface touching. It's really cool. And it makes people interact with your data. And surely that's what we want. We want people to play with data and look, and understand and make use of it. Take it forward. So that's one way of sharing it. And another way of sharing it, excuse me, is on PowerBI.com. And again, exactly the same rules apply. If I share it with you, you can log into powerbi.com with that account and you can see it. And then if you try and go for the same link, it's going to say, nope, you're not allowed. You're a project manager, you're not allowed to look at information about that project. Brilliant. And we create a dashboard. So over here we have the reports that we built in the application. Some of those visualizations, there is a pin, and you click on the pin, and it will put it onto the dashboard. And you choose which dashboard you want to give to people. But if you enable Q&A, here's your Q&A. Ask a question about the data on this dashboard. Brilliant, it is awesome. I recommend that you look at it and play with it and indeed tick that box because it's cool. But if you do that, those people have access to all the data that has created these visualizations. So if you need to think about who has access to that data, then you might need to think very carefully about whether you allow that or not, whether you create a report that actually narrows down the access to that data. Consider that before you just giving anybody access to all of the data. So, natural language query, I think, what time would you finish? Anybody got a schedule?
11:40.
11:40? Wow, we've got 11. Thank you very much. So, natural language query. Can you imagine this scenario? You are a security person and you have been tasked with looking at the servers that are in Bolton. Bolton is where I was born. That's why I chose it. That's why it has the biggest circle, because it means the most. So, you're a security guy, you are coming in to look at Bolton data center. Right, we're looking at SQL. We want to know about XP command. Okay. So, instead of coming and asking the DBA what is going on here, the DBA said, here you go, here's this dashboard. And the security guy goes, okay, yeah, I can see kind of what's going on here, but I need to know about Bolton and XP command. How can I find that out? Does it ask it? Stop typing. How many servers? 151. In Bolton. 78. With XP command shell, can I type this today? Enabled. True. 18. Excellent. Right, so we've given this to our security guy. Take yourself back to the bad old days when the security guy came and stood over the DBA. They said, how many servers in Bolton? 78. Sorry. You know there's 78 servers in Bolton? How many have got XP command shell enabled? 18. Oh no, I need to know about the version. You know those 18 servers in Bolton with XP command shell enabled? What versions are they? Poor DBA isn't getting anything done. He's not able to read Twitter. He's not able to be on SQL Server Central, looking at the forums. Yeah, he's not reading the latest Simple Talk editorial. He's having to answer these questions all the time. No! Going back to this dashboard. Right. What was the question? How many servers in Bolton with XP command shell enabled? True. Why? Version. Oh, I don't want it like that. That's a table. How cool is that? Can you imagine? Suddenly you're sat there, you can read as much Twitter as you like. Yeah? What you might need to do is answer the phone and say, hang on a minute, what do we need to do to find out which server name? This is the bit where I was saying about the column names have to be matched to what it is that you believe. Sorry, change that around. the column names in your report need to match what you want to type up here. Otherwise, it's not quite going to work if people think that. So, which server name, collation, and is for, see look, it's even picking them up for me. Text installed in, can't take that. Thanks. Those ones. I know, my obsession, I ran out of ideas when I was trying to obfuscate things. So I'm afraid you have server names 62, 63, 70, 71, 82, 80. Yeah. But. So, how about if we went and said, how many servers by version over the estate as a column? No, don't like column. As a, I like food, as a donut. Way, there you go. We've got it. Oh, yes, sorry, the BI guys will going, you're not allowed to use food. Okay. I'm a hippie, I have a tree map. How cool is that? Find the data that you want in natural query language and then use as a something, change how it looks. Then you can press this button and pin it onto the dashboard. So you don't have to just create your reports in that tool. You can actually create reports live and online. So we can do things like change to the database report. And again, you can see quite simply, we've got which clients, how many databases, database by compatibility level, all the things that were on that first report that we could share in that Power Desktop on the server. Touch screens, make it all nice. But now let's put it online. We've got our locations again, no buttons. So now we might actually be having a different question. So now maybe the project managers are coming in and saying, or even the client managers, what locations are Metallica clients? Excellent. Not quite come out as you expected, but you can see that it is just excellent. So, what locations? I need to know database names. And database names that hold Metallica fine. Yeah, my obfuscation script for the database names was a bit screwed as well. It's more inventive with the 80 job names than I got for. But you can see that it is just picking up the information. So when your client account manager needs to know what that information is, instead of coming and standing at this guy, I'm picking you this time, instead of that one, yeah? So they're having to come over here and stand here and say, hey, what's going on? Where are all the Metallica's clients? What are the database names called? You go, no, go away. Stop bugging me. I'm looking at DBA reactions and I'm having a great time. Right? You go and query it on the dashboard. You ask it how many questions you want. In language that you understand. You don't have to learn a programming language to get this information. You just ask it a question. Yeah. I can see in the future how you could use Cortana with this thing. I have no idea where it is coming. I don't. I've got no idea. But if I can type real actual English language into here, I can't see why they wouldn't move that forward in the past, in the future. And again, if we went the other way around, we're going to be turning off the Exeter data center. So which client name are in Exeter? Those ones. And yeah, it'll cope with misspelling. It really is quite remarkable. Right, hang on a minute. So we're going to turn off Exeter, right? You need to go there as well. Stephen Tyler's going to be very pleased. And the finance department, and Guns N' Roses and HR, and John Martin, and Johnny Cash, and Led Zeppelin. Those guys. Hang on a minute, how big is that data? Because we might want to copy all of that data across to the other data center just in case this all goes wrong and we need to bring it up over there. What sizes have we got? So, what we might say is which client name are in Bolton, where do I say are in Bolton, and size QB as a table. Really good. Actually, I don't want to say that. I just want to say the total. Total in Excel. So we're all able to make these calculations on the fly. We're not just picking up a single data, we're creating our own measures on the fly out of nothing as we go along, just by understanding how we use the language. Total will sum up that column. Really, it's awesome. Okay, so perhaps the next thing is the DBA team manager, the grumpy one with the beard. Yeah, the one that's walked in and said, "Like, we need to do this project." We spent too much time. Let's make sure we do the job first, and then we do. So, I need to know when were the Eagles databases last backed up. And you can go, it's okay, when were the Eagles databases last backed up? Oh, hang on a minute. It's not quite worked as I expected. Yeah? Here's the problem. It doesn't understand like you do. But what it needs to do is look for last backup data. So, what we need to do is change the question and ask you the question in a different way. Say, what is the last backup date for the Eagles? There we go. When was it last backed up? 30th of August. Oh, don't panic if any of the Eagles guys are with you. Don't panic. This is old data. This is for a demo. It's not real. Just put that out, honestly. But hopefully you can see how important this could be to you. How much time it can save you as a DBA, as a BI guy, as a dev, as a project manager, as a change manager, as a security manager, as an IT director. You know, we could go on every single point that you need information about your DBA, about your databases, your servers, your instances. Wherever your data is held for your company, you can now gather it, put it into this database, use PowerShell to iterate through every night, every week, every hour if that's what you require. So in a database, we like databases. We know that we can make sure they're highly available if we need to. We know make sure that they're backed up because this guy's not going to Twitter. He's going to make sure they're all backed up. And he's going to prove it and show it to me like this. And then I'm happy, team manager. Well done. You may go and meet DBA. And we can answer the questions that come at us day after day after day after day after day by saying, here is the dashboard, here are some queries, go have fun, stop bugging us, we're going to make everything else work cool, we're going to make these things go quicker, we're going to make sure that we understand what happens if this data center falls over, will all our stuff go to there, what do we need to do, have we got a good plan, all that stuff that we have to do as DBAs, we can concentrate on doing, and all the stuff that you need to know as a change manager, as a project manager, as a security guy, as a whatever, I'll make sure you get this information. So, that is the end. And all I have to say is, are there any questions?
clear dashboards and reports.
Yes.
If you wanted top manager to see everything, but people in particular to oversee that, are you able to control the reports by that instance? So top managers could type in the question, whereas certain teams might not be able to, or restricted to their area.
So the question is, can we filter the reports by permissions? So that the top guys can see some things, and certain individual teams, let's go, development team, test team, can only see stuff about that. No. Okay. The data that is available in that report has been gathered with the permission of the person who wrote the report. And normally in this scenario, it's a DBA. The DBA can gather all that information and put it in there. And if you share that report, everybody can see everything.
You could create like 3 or 4 reports. Yeah.
So, the second part of the question was, can we then create 3 or 4 reports that just filter by permission? Absolutely. In fact, probably what you could do is change your query when you write a report, the filter for where a client is testing, to just allow the testing. So you can build a report that shows the same thing for each team, and have a testing one filter the information by test. So they're only seeing their stuff. That's how I would do it. Yes, sir.
Right. From your experience, in terms of the sort of natural language querying, how does it handle sort of slightly more complicated, what we use Boolean type stuff, sort of ors and ands and nots? How can you even bracket within that sort of within a query?
I don't know.
Yes, but it's still
I filtered on where XP command shall enable this true, so a single sort of expression.
Yeah.
But I haven't used multiple sort of calculated expressions there. So I would say give it a go and let me know. Yeah. Let these guys know. Let's give it on. Yes, sir. Do they have any plans to put it on premises? So when you say it, you mean the natural language query?
Front end.
The way that you can do that is to go and talk to Code Analytics. And apparently, their product has the ability to enable that on. But if you just use the designer tool and your SQL Server is on premise, you can share the report and the viewer and not take it out of your premises at all. So you can have your DBA database sat on premise, and you can create a report against that DBA database. And either, for anything other than Windows 8.1, Windows 10, you would have to pass on the desktop, the report creator to people, give them that report, put it to share, lock it down, whatever, pass it on. Or for 8.1 and 10, I would give them the store app, and then they will be able to use that, because when they press refresh, they're going back to your own premise. You're not leaving the host lab. Anybody else? Excellent. Thank you very much. Go and have some coffee and talk to the sponsors and network amongst yourselves and have a brilliant SQL relay.